psychos. Yeah.
So today we are covering a topic requested by several listeners. It was on our list, but based on the demand, we pushed this one, and I'm glad we did.
Me too, Katie. I'm excited to bring our unique psychos view to quiet quitting. This is a topic that's been discussed ad nauseum, but in my mind, usually in relatively unsurprising ways. It feels like there's an opportunity for some deeper insight and more tangible recommendations. This is a topic that both employers and employees have really strong opinions on. I'm going to stop there and read an email we received from a listener. Hey, psychos, big fan of the show. I'm an executive in finance. I straddle both sides of the game that you discuss on the show. I like to think of myself as an empathetic leader, but in my role, I'm expected to get things done, and this can make me feel squeezed between two unmovable entities. I'm in the position to make unpopular decisions, and while I do my best to socialize them with employees, sometimes the decisions aren't negotiable. Since COVID, the phenomenon of quiet quitting has become a significant problem at our company. Throughout my long career, I've never encountered anything like this. While it's something discussed frequently amongst the leadership team, we don't really have any idea how to deal with it. I'd be interested in hearing you discuss this on the show. Any advice you can share for a good-hearted leader would be most appreciated. And it's signed, Stressed.
All right, Stressed Kathy. Well, Mary, we should also read the other letter from a so-called quiet quitter, counterpoint. So here it goes. Let me pull it up. Hi, I'm 31 and work for a large company in a mid-level role. I have a master's degree and do not consider myself to be a lazy person, but I've made the decision to quiet quit, along with most of the people I work with, most of whom also have advanced degrees and who don't consider themselves lazy or unethical. This all said, me and my coworkers work in a very large and highly profitable corporation that is known for being terrible to its employees. They've gotten rid of all remote work, have frequent layoffs, a toxic culture where jerks are promoted, and anyone considered too nice is eaten alive by politics. I work here because it pays really well, and I have college debt to pay off. I also live in an expensive city because of the company's policy requiring in-office work. To cope with all of this, me and my colleagues all do the absolute minimum. I badge into the office to drink a few cups of coffee, then after 2 hours, take a bunch of soda and snacks back home, where I spend the rest of the day doing as little as possible. I watch Netflix, go to the gym, and nap. I know my company monitors what we do, so I use a device to make it seem that I'm working. There are days where I feel guilty, but then something stupid happens at work, or I see the latest quarterly results, and I tell myself the company is doing just fine. You both talk about playing the game. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts about what me and my coworkers are doing. I should add that I continue to get very positive performance reviews and that this lifestyle is helping me take care of my personal life and mental health. Thanks. And we'll call this person Quentin.
I had a Cabbage Patch doll named Quentin. That's the last time I've heard the name Quentin. Sorry. I mean, it's so specific. How could I not bring it up?
Are you sure it's not him?
No, it could be.
Yeah,
we fell out of touch in this.
Yes.
So, without my parenting, this is what happens. His hair smelled like baby powder. It was crazy. Anyway,
that's how you'll know it's him. That's the only way you'll be able to...
Quentin, does your hair smell like baby powder?
You'll have to sniff it.
Do you have like a little denim hat? Anyway, I'm aging myself. No one wants to hear
about it. Can you imagine? You're like, hey, writer, can we see you? And they show up and they're wearing a little denim hat. And you're like,
they're literally
like,
it's like the exact same outfit. Where did I drop the ball, Quentin? Okay, this is a great one. So many thoughts and clearly feelings coming up for me right now. I feel like I have like a little boss on one shoulder and a little employee on the other shoulder, and they're like arguing. I mean, this whole topic, I feel like it could be a podcast in of itself. Anyway, let's start the conversation.
And we'll be right back.
Let's dive into this idea of quiet quitting. We've all heard the term, and while it's often framed as employees setting boundaries or protecting their mental health, the reality is much deeper for many people. So that second listener, Quentin, described something I've seen a lot. Highly educated, capable individuals choosing to disengage, not because they're lazy, but because they don't feel valued or respected. They're caught in a toxic corporate culture, doing just enough to get by, not necessarily out of rebellion, but out of survival. What they're describing often sounds like a form of depression. The constant need to rationalize or justify their actions speaks to a deeper emotional strain. And when you spend your days reconciling whether your reaction to your job is a flaw of your character, it takes a toll. I think it's important to recognize that quiet quitting isn't just about taking a step back mentally. It's about finding ways to game the system, often with a sense of guilt. Sure, they might point to the company's profits or bad leadership as justification, but the long-term psychological impact of this coping mechanism, it's significant. What does this mean for their career trajectory or even the company culture as a whole? The short-term win of surviving in this environment comes with a long-term cost, both personally and professionally. I've seen an increasing number of folks who do not have skills you'd expect to see for their length of tenure and career, especially in the first decade of your career. Mary, you've described in earlier episodes the importance of building that foundation. So, look, for leaders, this is where things get tricky. Balancing empathy and results are hard when quiet quitting becomes the norm, but it's essential. Employees need to feel seen, heard, and respected. Quiet quitting isn't just a trend, it's a reflection of a deeper problem in corporate cultures. So this is why, as I see it, leaders need to evolve, creating an environment where people don't feel the need to disengage just to survive. It's not about squeezing out more productivity. It's about building a culture where everyone can thrive.
Yes. Clap, clap, clap. Snap, snap, snaps. 1,000% yes. I mean, we're not talking about kids working at an ice cream store, for extra money here, right? Yeah. So I presume Quentin he's working at a large company, sounds like a mid-senior role. He's intentionally chosen to work there as a career. And ironically, I bet the kids at the ice cream store are having more fun. By the way, as a teen, I had friends who worked at a frozen yogurt store, and oh my God, pretty awesome if you have a teenager and someone who works in an ice cream store. Anyway, Katie, I'm getting distracted again.
Actually, Adia worked at an ice cream store. And it's the best thing. Exactly as you described. Exactly as you described.
Yeah, of professions you want your friends to have. You would think not an ice cream store, but all those things like TCBY, I don't even think it exists anymore. All these different toppings, you get TCBY. Vanilla yogurt and then Oreos on top of it. Anyway, Katie, I think you're spot on when you talk about survival and coping here. This listener is clearly not lazy. He has a master's, probably an MBA or whatever. He's made a serious investment in himself to achieve that. So what happened? Right? It feels unnatural that someone who started out with all that drive and self-discipline is suddenly shut down and disengaged. Alexander Dennayer is credited with saying, if a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. This listener is not thriving. Katie, to your point, he's surviving. And we've all been there. And it's normal to do this when you're in a suboptimal spot, but short term. Friend, you need an action plan to get yourself to a better place. I mean, not even necessarily for your career, but for your mental wellness, for your spirit. Life is short. I can certainly attest that as you age, you have a clearer perspective on this. And I'm going to get distracted again because now I'm thinking about that Pink Floyd song, Time. And yes, now I'm going to quote it again, another quote. Tired of lying in the sunshine, staying home to watch the rain. You're young and life is long and there's time to kill today. And then one day you find 10 years have got behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. So run, Quentin. Like, run.
Hey, fellow psychos, if you enjoyed the show, please click like, subscribe, and share it with other psychos you know. We'd also love to hear from you, so please hit us up on our socials. We're at Business Psychos Pod on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.